Hey, salutations hikers. We're on our way today out to Hidden Lake, but I thought on our route we would go ahead and climb O'Malley Peak and show people how to kind of like get up that direction, drop down the other side down onto Hidden Lake, and then we'll be taking the ramp on the way back out to Powerline Pass and then back to the parking lot. One of the more common routes heading up O'Malley is to cross the creek and head straight back and up to that first saddle there. During the months of April and May, this is also a very popular route for coming down. Once you're at the top of the saddle, you can hike the ballpark all the way back to the face of O'Malley for the last climb. Or you can take the route that this gal is taking, which is walking the ridge line. I heard it's not too bad, but it is a little bit of a scramble up there in one of those peaks. Coming up the scree, it's a little bit more radical, I think, than I thought it might be. It's a good idea to stay away from the bigger boulders, the bigger rocks, because there really isn't enough foothold to keep those solid. And once it gets out underneath your feet, it turns around and starts to cave in on your legs and stuff like that. So footing isn't really good. So look for the flowers. If you're up here in late June, early July, the flowers are places where there's actually some pretty good footing. And so that's pretty much how I navigated my way up here. I was using hiking poles, which were a big help, for me up here. I'm just up in here in trail runners. Going down the other side of the mountain here and then taking the trail on the way out, it's a little bit longer. It makes a loop, but keeps the scenery ever changing, which I think is pretty cool. Wind's blowing like crazy up here, so I don't know how this audio is going to work, but got my little fuzzy wuzzy here, so it should help a little bit. Take a few more shots up here and then we'll start heading back. This was too good of a place to pass up, so I decided to hang out and lounge out here for a little bit. I'm out of the wind, it's nice and soft, and the view is just fantastic. This is pretty interesting. This looks to be way too big and too much effort probably for a marmot to do. Rather imagine this is probably a wolverine den. It's going to be a bumpy close. Looks like about 8.7 miles round trip. We crossed the river towards O'Malley, went up to the saddle, over onto the ballpark, and up the scree pile. That is the wider one of two that is on the face of O'Malley, and it's on the right hand side. And it's a good idea to probably have, oh, I just got a warning sign here. Hopefully that doesn't show up for you. Good idea to have hiking poles for maybe stability and maybe some good balance. It's kind of steep there, and went up to the top, took a couple photos, and then we came down the southeast side of O'Malley, heading towards the back end of the ramp down to the lake, and then back out towards the power line pass. It's a good trip. Turned out to be quite warm on the last portion of this trip, so kind of parched, and off for tacos. Have a good day.